it. I fucking knew it.
Lads, it's a thing of beauty. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Footballbets4u podcast, episode number 33 of season 3. Lads, what did we think of that little introduction video there? In particular, Paddy, Chris, and Lawler, United fans. Lawler looks absolutely unreal. He's loving it. He's absolutely loving it. Oh, lads, what a moment! We're gonna actually jump right in and talk about the match, because I thought it was one of the best matches I've ever witnessed. I'm just gonna say this: David De Gea is the worst goalkeeper in the world. I'm just throwing it out there. Paddy, I want to come to you. I want your thoughts on the match. I know you don't want to talk about it, but I don't care. I want to hear you talking about it. So, can you tell me what you thought of the match, where you thought it went wrong? Give us your full analysis here, because we don't have any predictions for the week, so we've got all night to talk about United losing in the Europa League final.
Okay. It was a poor match. I think he threw all his cards on the table straight away, blew his load, and what he should have done, from my expert opinion, would have been maybe leave Cavani on the bench, leave Pogba on the bench, and had something to change the game in the last 20 minutes. Like when you looked at that bench last night, you brought in Dan James, Fred. Fred was the first substitution to make a difference.
And took Greenwood off.
Extra time.
And took Greenwood off.
Rashford that's the worst game of football I've ever seen him play. Ever. Yeah. It was shocking. It was just, I think Gary Neville said it well yesterday, that you can't just turn on and off form, and United's form over the last couple of months has been bad. So what else can you expect when you come into the final? The aftermath, would I like to see Ollie out? No. Manchester United, I think it's still a successful season in terms of progress since he came in.
I love listening to the shit. I love listening to it.
It's the truth. It's the progress. We're going to know. The next year he has to win something, or else he's gone. That's it.
I believe, Connor. I believe me and you were talking about this. Somebody said that if he doesn't win the Europa League, it won't be a successful season. And I can't remember who it was, and I was convinced it was Paddy that said that.
I thought it was Lawler, to be honest.
Someone said it.
It wasn't me.
I said we'd win the league.
Fucking backtracking big time.
Hold on a minute. Let's think about this logically, okay? We lost the game by a penalty. If De Gea had scored and their keeper had missed, what would have been that made us a successful season then? Because of one kick of a ball. We played poorly in the final. We made progress year on year. So yeah, it was a decent season. We finished second. Above Liverpool, the champions. So yeah, I'll take that. How come
Ollie said it wasn't
disappointing, devastating, but I'll take it. What was it?
Ollie said last night it wasn't a successful season.
It was for me as a supporter. I think it was.
Oh, so you're going against the manager? Oh, okay, good.
Have a day off, Connor, will you?
What a day!
This is my day off.
I'll come to Lala. What did you make of the whole thing? Because you refused to talk to us last night.
Liverpool fans are all of all their back when they just have to live in other people's misery because they don't shite themselves. Like
the whole season was that United are doing. It's great.
It was a disappointing game. It wasn't a successful season in terms of trophies, but like Paddy said, it was progress from last year. We got to the semi-final last year. We got to the final this year. It's progress. We finished.
You'll win it next year, now, will you?
Hopefully. No, but it is progress.
It is progress. And in the league.
And like that, the past month or so, the form has been poor in the league, not creating enough chances. And that shows yesterday. We were poor. Fernandes again in a big game didn't show up, although he was being marked out of the game. Rashford was poor, but like that, we just had nothing to bring on to change. The game wasn't stretched enough for James to come on and catch them on the break because they were just sitting so deep. Who did we have to come on and be that creative player? I thought maybe Van de Beek might have came on a bit earlier, but I think Ollie just seemed afraid to make. He didn't want to take the Pogba and the Rashford off, who could come up with a moment of brilliance. It was like he was we were waiting for a moment of brilliance rather than trying to
Even Mata. Bring on Mata like last 20 minutes.
I'll tell you what, lads.
not last minute.
Matic
Last minute.
could have been that little final
Yeah.
pass that was required to score a goal. He has that delicate little touch in
Yeah.
and around the box.
Yeah.
He 100% could have changed the fucking game.
He's done a job against Wolves in the weekend.
Just leave that up on the screen for a sec. Lads, do you know what I was going to do? I was going to kind of go and like run through all the comments at once and stuff like that. But I think I'll bring some in and out, and I'll just show up a couple of comments that have come in
Like
from
like,
what?
you like slowly torture us through the whole evening, through the whole
I think so. But
Right.
no, it's going to be in regards to Ollie, because I did put up a poll straight after the United game and asked if people want Ollie in and out. And the reason I done that was because people were at their most emotional they were going to be, and would have just shot straight from the hip, I believe.
You're fishing, in other words.
I was fucking fishing completely. Like, I got my biggest fishing rod out and I threw it as far as I can, and I caught a couple of whales. So we'll run through one or two. There's one comment that I was talking to you about, lads, at the start here, and I think it's a fucking great show. And we'll get to that in a sec. So I'll just run through a couple. John Flood, he's not a manager. I love it. I love the disgust. He's not a fucking manager. What do we think here, lads?
Who's he talking about, though? He's talking about
Ollie.
me.
Ollie.
You
I
sure?
don't know. No, start
100%.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I need some context on that. Could be talking about anybody.
Not a manager. He's not
Could
a
be talking
manager.
about his local B&Q manager.
Here's one here, lads. Davia07. He's done some great things. He's created a good feel good factor in the club, and he's got rid of shit. So he's obviously for Ollie. Do you agree with that, lads? Has he got rid of shit? Like, we're talking about this bringing this new culture to United. I don't know what the fuck that means, because United haven't won
You do know what it means.
United haven't won in fucking 5 or 6
You
years.
don't know what it means. Go
United
away.
haven't won in 5 or 6 years. I don't know what that
That's
means,
because
lads.
Chelsea don't have a culture.
Hold on a
have
second.
it.
The most
You just
successful
have
team in the English league for the last 15 years. That is a culture, my friend. Winning. Serial winners we are. Lads, I do want to know what you think about that whole feel-good factor. I want Chris, I want an insight. What do you think that means? And do you think it's true?
What do I think a feel-good factor means?
Yeah, as in, like, bringing it to the club, like. But like it's more the reference of like this culture. That's what I'm kind of talking about. More the culture, like.
Well, you're saying the culture. The question doesn't say anything about it.
Right, but that's what I'm getting at. Because
either.
I know that's what he's trying to say, and he's saying it without saying it. So he's saying it, creating a feel good factor in the club.
Did you write this question, Collie?
Yeah. I am.
Yeah. Like, I don't know about a feel good factor, but like it definitely I feel more optimistic. I feel more optimistic about it than I did this time last year. Like I said it last week or the week before, like this time last year would have been sitting here going up to the transfer window saying we need 6-7 players. Now you're looking at it being like we need 2, maybe 3 decent players to get us up and running. And in a way, like I really don't give a rat's about the Europa League at all. Like it's a shambles that we're in it. But I mean it's
skipping 5 aside.
But I mean as in it's just as disappointing to be in it at all than it was to lose the final. Like so I don't really give a shit. But what I am happy about is like the league performances in a way. Like we definitely needed to be more consistent at home. If we could bring the away form to home, it would have been class. Like we would have been up there with City. But I think that he's gotten probably the best he could out of the squad that he did this season. And in a way, because we were never going to get any higher than second, I'm actually happy in ways that we finish off a bit shit, because it doesn't mask over the cracks or hide the fact that we do need to recruit well in the summer. And hopefully with everything that happened with the fucking Super League and their owners wanting to come out and maybe prove to the fans that they're committed and buy back their trust, I think that they'll go in and they'll go out and probably spend 200 or 300 million and get 2 or 3 marquee signings in that we can actually rely on and get good performances out of. So,
and who would you want in? Who's your biggest target? Do you think like this? I know we're talking about this Haaland and Kane and stuff going to them, but do you think the biggest thing you need is maybe a centre half.
Yeah, based off of the last few weeks, definitely we need a centre half. Like we fell apart when Harry Kane wasn't there. There's no structure, no leadership at the back at all.
Harry Kane playing centre half, United.
How's Harry Kane playing centre half?
Harry
This
Maguire.
is like I have no idea. Centre.
Yeah, I don't at all. But I'm assuming I said Harry Kane instead of Maguire. But anyway, the fact that fucking Boy stepped in yesterday and did better than Lindelof says it all. Like Lindelof is just a fucking calamity. Like I absolutely despise the fucker.
Boy had a good season this fourth season with Mourinho.
I actually like Boy. He's injury prone. He was unfortunate. He when he did come in fairness this season, when he got a chance off Ollie, he didn't do really well. He did make a couple of mistakes and not enough to keep him in there lining up beside Maguire basically. But I think that the priority should be a centre half and then a striker. I think centre half's probably taken priority for me personally over the last few weeks.
Fair enough.
I think the issue is Lindelof and Boy together do not complement each other. Like Maguire, I can't stand him either, but he has a good relationship with a better relationship with Lindelof. And he also plays all right as well with Boy. I just think together, Boy and Lindelof are absolutely atrocious together.
On the feel good factor. Sorry, go on. Sorry.
No, you go on. Feel good factor.
Shoot.
No, I'm all about the feel good factor. So go on. I think he's created a quality feel good factor.
Yeah, it's like you talk about culture, Collie, and all that, and you were saying you don't understand. Mourinho has done it at your club at his second coming, and he destroyed the squad, the feeling in the squad, and it took a manager or maybe two. And this is what Ollie had to do when he came in. There was a messed up transfer strategy over years. So you had this disjointed squad who was managed by toxic Mourinho. So when he came in there, the club was in a shambles. None of the backroom staff were happy. Nobody around Old Trafford was happy. It wasn't like when, say, Alex Ferguson was there. And he has that culture back of when Alex Ferguson was there. And he feels, with his philosophy, that if he has that culture there, that will eventually, with the talent and the coaching, bring success to the club. And that's what a culture is and a feel-good factor is, because everybody's happy and everybody's moving in the same direction. It's not like Mourinho when you have fragmented parts of the squad, like a cancer. And we only talked about this last week, the week before. I can't remember what team it was, but if you have a group of unhappy players, it can be detrimental to the whole team. And this
Spurs we were talking about, was it?
Sorry?
I think it was Spurs we were talking about.
Yeah. And it is. That's right, because Mourinho done it again. There.
I just don't. Yeah, no. Look, I do understand where you're coming from, but I just hate that word. I just hate the thing they're bringing this. He's bringing this new culture in. Like, as far as I'm concerned, like that's referring to winning. Like that is only referring to winning. As far as
but
I'm
that's
concerned.
what it's all going towards.
Yeah, but like everyone's doing that, aren't they? Everyone's going towards trying to win.
But you're in
it. Not everyone is doing it.
Yeah, this is the culture to bring in. Yeah, but
so if you the right to say that yous are changing the culture, or all these changing your culture when he hasn't fucking
changed it for Mourinho.
He hasn't won on.
Changing doesn't mean he's there, though, Kelly. Changing doesn't mean he's there. He's not at the finish line. Like, nobody said he's brought back the culture and we're there. We don't need to improve.
And you think you're gonna so? How long do you think he has left?
Next season.
Yeah.
So you're willing to say he's changed the culture and you're only giving him next season if he doesn't win, he's gone?
No, that's 3.5 seasons. That's 3.5 seasons. If you don't win anything in 3.5 seasons at Manchester United, because there's no I'm happy so far because progress, season on season progress. The team is getting bigger. So if we make the couple of key signings this summer, there's no more excuses. We win or he's gone.
Yeah, well, that comes down to the recruitment again. Like I said, the squad depth, and it clearly showed the squad depth that United have is terrible. It's really poor. Sorry, just a quick comment in there from John. Ollie is not a manager; he's a coach. Maybe not ruthless, looks lost, and I'll say it again: we won't win anything as long as Ollie is manager. I think he's right. I don't think I would be very surprised. Do you know what I felt like? I felt like he struggles to motivate the team. And did you see what he done in the media where he starts saying, "Oh, it's fucking," I think it was Busby's birthday or something like that, and starts challenging him. He's like, I see something in this team, and he has to do it in the media to try to get some sort of reaction out of him. That's what I feel. I don't feel he motivates him. Connor, I'm just gonna come up to you. What do you think of this one? Like, do you think he has? Would you be motivated by a manager like him who hasn't really
You've been in the dressing room, Collie.
Well, I'm just saying. That's why I'm saying. But that's why I'm saying it, because he has to come out in the media and do it. Why not do it in the dressing room?
Why does he have to come out in the media?
Every manager does that, Collie. There's two sides of management. There's what happens behind
needless
doors
pressure
and what happens in
I
public. Have you never played FIFA career mode?
All I see there coming out in the public is putting needless pressure on your team.
But look at Roy Hodgson. You look at him, he would motivate me to get out of bed by looking at him. But I'm sure he does something quality.
He motivated to get into it.
You want dirty boy.
Connor, sorry, I was going to Connor. Sorry, I want to just hear what Connor has to say about in terms of what do you think of Ollie?
Yeah, as much as I'd love to slate it, the lads are right. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes with the player. If he is fucking boots at fucking lads in the training ground or on before games, halftime in games, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So it's hard to look in at that and say what will be going on. I would also look at the fact that to say gone out of the Champions League in the group stages to not winning anything again. So I know we obviously they are moving in the right direction. They've had a better season this year than last year, but as Paddy says, the book has to stop somewhere down the line eventually. There can't be. I don't see how they can improve anymore next season without winning anything. So they have to pick up something next year, or they have to be trending in the right direction early next season. Because if they don't, we're having the same conversation as we had here with Jurgen Klopp back at Christmas to say he won the league the year before, but now does he actually have enough in him? And there was talks of obviously Klopp going in February, and I'm not saying they haven't. It's not the same thing as picking up a league winning team to going into the next year, but you have to start looking and saying you're Manchester United. They're a club that wins things, and if they go another season and it goes to 3 years or 3.5 years with a manager and they haven't won anything, if it was any other manager, they'd be out in the rear. So there has to be a stage where the club legend thing stops.
Yeah, that's why I asked, why is he so special? Why does he get that little bit of extra? I know, I understand, he is a legend of the club or whatever like that, but I'm gonna bring up one commentary that I thought was
Frank Lampard's balls all year.
Yeah, but look, he got sacked. He got sacked because
I wouldn't expect you to understand that type of loyalty.
It's a results-based game, right? So we're the most successful team for the last 15 years.
Weren't you the person screaming and crying that Frank was doing all the right things, even though he got sacked?
Yeah, he was.
So, well, you said it's a results-driven game. So what did he do?
He got sacked.
But what did he do to keep the job?
He didn't do that. He got sacked.
No, but you were crying saying it was the wrong decision. So, then you're saying it's a results-driven game.
I could see a very young and a very good, promising-looking squad coming up. But
so he's bringing a good culture to the club, is what you're saying?
Well, not good culture. No, good youth coming up through the system. I don't think it's culture. It's just natural development of players, and I think we had a good batch of players there. I don't think it's a culture. There's tactics. There's ways you can play. You can press high, or you can play out the back. In terms of culture, no, not culture. I just want to bring in a comment that we had sent in, which is brilliant, and it's a great reference for this game. So it was sent in by O'Shea 17_TKD. For a man who built his career on coming off the bench in the Champions League final, you'd think he'd bring on subs earlier. Tactically, he's not there. That's a fucking unbelievable show. Lala, what do you think of that one? Great point now.
Yeah, I can see where he's coming from. I would have liked to see a change a lot earlier in the game yesterday. I think he just looked at his bench and thought, how do I change this? What do I do? What do I bring on? He'd known that to bring on that I was going to produce an instant moment of quality, I don't think. But at the same time, he needed to change something. He left it too long. He made the changes when Boye couldn't walk anymore. He was cramping up, and the same when Pogba was. So he only made substitutions because he had to. Yeah. He needed to change something. I agree with Paddy. Maybe he should have left an ace card on the bench, something to come off with.
Who is your ace card, Lair?
Like leaving a Greenwood on the bench, leaving a Rashford on the bench, or Cavani.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually very
Take Daniel
surprised.
James on the right, leave Greenwood up top, and leave Cavani on the bench.
Yeah, but you have to
I
remember
don't
as well,
know.
like if you listen to what Rashford said after the game, which I thought he actually spoke very well, and fair play to him for coming out after having such a fucking stinker.
Shocking.
But by the sounds of it, like half the squad are struggling with injuries, and if that is the case, you wouldn't leave your injured players on the bench. You should, if you're in a final like that, you should be starting them, because you'd rather them go on and get injured after 20 minutes and come off and then change them than to be bringing them on at the end of the match and having to take them back off again.
Yeah.
Sounds very Liverpoolish.
You have to have a plan B. I
got it.
It looked like there was no plan B.
Well, lads, what a segue into the next comment. Graham Masters, he steadied the ship in some aspects, doesn't know what to do when plan A doesn't work. Relied on individual performances. If Man United want to challenge, he's not the manager to do so. Lads, that's also a great shout as well, because he, like, to me, tactically, he is very one-dimensional, I think. I think he doesn't adapt well to the situation he's in. Like,
the vast majority of the season, though, he's either not started with Rashford and not started with Greenwood, because Greenwood wasn't starting for the vast majority of the season, so he was someone to come on. He either played and played Pogba kind of from the left, or he had Cavani to come on. But he started with what is our best 11 and just had nothing else to come on. The game wasn't stretched enough for Dan James to make an impact off the break. He doesn't trust Donny van de Beek. And so who was there to come on? Fred. What's he going to do? Matip, possibly. I would have thought maybe Matip. Mata. M-A-T. Yeah. Possibly Mata come on. But
just a comment in there again from John. Why does everybody say his bench wasn't great? He's not ruthless enough. Rashford should have been off, but no, De Gea, Penno record is awful. Why not swap him with Henderson? All he does is smile.
So what outfield
bench wasn't great because it wasn't great.
What outfield players did John Flood brought on there?
John, if you can comment in, tell us who you would have brought in there. We'd appreciate it. We'll get it out. But no, like it is a kind of, sorry, I brought that up again. It is a. I do think their bench isn't it's not great in comparison to some of the other teams. Like,
it looked better when we had Martial, say.
Yeah.
And when you play Fred then with McTominay, you had two then attacking players on the bench, two strong attacking players. So you had because Martial was playing up top, so you had Cavani on the bench, and then if Pogba was playing on the left, Greenwood would have been in on the bench as well. So by playing Pogba in the middle and playing Cavani from the start, and Martial being injured, we were left with nobody else, no plan B. And all through the season when we had a full strength team, we always had that plan B. So we always had McTominay, Fred there, whip Fred off, get Pogba on or get Cavani on, move Greenwood and Rashford around, change sides for Greenwood and Rashford. And it confuses the defenders. You know, it gives you another option. It changes things around. But we just had nothing last night.
He was sitting there thinking McTominay was played out of his skin, in fairness to him. He's like,
he did play well,
we'll take Rashford off, but he could have that special moment. I can't take Pogba off. I'm not going to take Fernandes or Cavani off. So it was, who do I take off?
So do you not see that as a weak manager? Like I don't see what you're seeing there as weakness.
Absolutely
experience week yesterday, but look.
Like I understand what you're saying. Where it's you could easily argue with what I've just said there by saying, well, who do you bring on? Just do something. Like make a change. You know what I mean? Do something. Like anything.
Yeah.
You start that game for Manchester United should have been wrapped up in 90 minutes.
Absolutely.
It was a mistake, and I'm sure he'll probably admit it himself. Like mistakes happens.
Just the next one, Eric Dubb, 85. They'll never win with him. Fortunate to get second. It'll be between Liverpool and City next season. What do we reckon on that one, lads? Look, obviously we've covered the first bit of it, but what do we think between Liverpool and City next season? Are we agreeing with that? I think there'll be more than that in it.
I think Liverpool need to make a good few signings because they need to freshen up that attack.
Yeah.
The defense midfield, they're an aging squad. Like Van Dijk is like, what age is he? 30 this year?
He was 30 and like
Salah's 29, 30. So they're becoming an aging squad now. Like the one thing I'd say about United is they're a young squad.
Yeah.
Like in 2 or 3 years, they'll be all their like academy graduates will be at their peak. Which I think when you start seeing now the City squad age and the Liverpool squad, it goes in cycles. And even the Chelsea squad now are young.
Chelsea are young.
So you'll see in 2 years, United and Chelsea, I think, being the dominant force, and maybe Liverpool and City slipping away a little bit. Although maybe Pep won't do that, but if Klopp
I think Pep's probably a bit too strong to allow that to happen. Like he definitely does have good youth coming up there as well, with the likes of Foden and stuff like that. So,
you see Pep staying long term at Liverpool.
Yeah.
Connor, what do you think?
You'll see his contract out, and I know obviously he went through that turbulent time.
And when is that?
See his contract out
23, isn't it?
2024, I thought it was.
Is it?
Yeah,
Is it 24? Oh, okay.
He'll see the contract out and he won't renew after that. There's probably a guarantee. He doesn't.
Like Mellon was talking about him retiring completely from football. I don't see that happening.
I can see him taking. I can see him maybe extending for a year at a time if Hansi Flick isn't out of the German team by then.
Yeah. Interesting.
So
that's what I was thinking. Like if he's interested in like taking a step away from football, maybe going to like the German team or something like that. Like it's a bit more fucking lackadaisy there. Like
laid back.
Yeah. Right, lads, we'll move on to the next one. Sorry, John's come in again with a response. That game suited Donny, his class in small areas. Ahmed bundles of pace running at the tired defence. Good show. Matt did then. There's talk all about great youth and why we have a young striker on the bench. Why not have that young striker on the bench?
They weren't third. Villarreal weren't third.
They actually weren't third. They did it done pretty well. But
the manager, he managed the game very well.
Yeah, but you get the gist of what he's saying, where you have tighter legs and you can bring on a pacey winger or whatever to run at them and just
he's right. We're not like saying we're saying he should have made substitutions, but he left all his best players on the pitch. Like in the sense of to make a really big impact on the game, you want a big player coming off the bench.
Yeah,
like psychologically as well. Like because if you see Ahmad coming off the bench, Villarreal are going to be thinking themselves, this is their plan B. Like, but if you have Cavani coming off the bench,
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, you're kind of like, keep fucking an ace in the hole. Like, and just.
There was no one coming off that bench that was anywhere close to that starting 11.
Fred. But, like, obviously he's not going to change the game like that. Mm. Well, but what about Pogba's position last night? Like, is he not more effective on the left, maybe playing Pogba on the left, put Fred on, and then put fucking, like you were saying, Rashford up through the middle or something like that. Mix it up a little bit. Because Rashford had a stinker, like.
Yeah.
I think he thought we'd be so dominant in the game, we don't need two holding midfielders.
Yeah. Did Pogba not play kind of a holding defensive more than usually you would see him?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he dropped him back.
He did, yeah, because that's the Fred role. But again, he's a little bit more licensed to go forward, like.
But if you look at the actual game itself, like the first half an hour just before they scored, we were dominating it. Every time they got the ball, we won it back straight away. Yeah. They couldn't get passes. They couldn't make any runs. They got that goal, then it completely deflated us. So if they don't get that goal, which I think if we have a stronger defence, like if we had a leader like Maguire there, I think we're organised better. That stupid set piece maybe doesn't happen and we don't concede that goal. And if that happens, then you're looking at a completely different game.
That has happened a lot with United. Like, and we've said it a lot on the podcast.
I know,
they got 1-0 down, and they always get a response. You used to always get a response from them. It was just like there was nothing there last night.
I know, yeah, but you can't go into games saying we're going to concede.
Yeah.
Like we should be going into the game. Yeah, exactly. We have to be going into games believing that we're not going to concede and that we're going to dominate. And we were dominating that first half up until the goal. Like, and if it had stayed like that, I do think we'd have broken them down eventually, and we would have got a couple of goals, and we would have settled the game off, and then we all would have been praising him because he got the tactics right. So it's fine margins in games like that. I don't think he got it right. I do think Rashford should have been whipped after like 5 minutes into the second half. Like
5 minutes into the first half.
Before that, yeah.
Just a quick one. We'll move on. He's a PE teacher. So just a quick one here. Aaron Singleton sacked. Good luck. See you now. Do you think Chelsea would stick with him? Gone.
But he didn't play for Chelsea, so no.
Fact. Chelsea don't stand around waiting for legends to try to become legends again. They pull the trigger and then they make new legends with Thomas Tuchel, who's got us to the final.
Look at him.
No matter how much manager. You were inside that last week, Collie, when you were crying on the golf course watching the fucking Chelsea get beaten.
Well, look, we got away with that one. But yeah, so that's.
I said that on the last pod actually that I had a feeling Chelsea were going to slip up against Villa.
Yeah, a couple of people. I was sent a crazy bet, It was like
Jeez,
fucking
99, Dan O'Neill showing his age.
yeah, there was a bet that someone sent me, and it was a fucking. it was a threefold fucking results, and it was like 70 quid, and I was like, fuck. It's like a bit of a mad one, but Dan O'Neill, he's shown improvement. I'm lucky with the pens, but we should have won in the 90 minutes. Yeah, like we were just saying there, that should have been wrapped up before anything happened. Next one from Andy. You have to give some credit, but I just don't think he seems a nervous wreck. He does seem a nervous wreck as far as I can see, but I think it's more afraid to do something, and that just comes off as nervous. Like he's afraid to pull the trigger on, like we were saying there, substitutions. Like as Lawler was saying, he's not going to pull Rashford off because he knows he's not gay.
He's not allowed to do that.
No, because he obviously knows that like he has that little spark, and he also knows that like he can score a goal in seconds. Like, but again, we were saying like in terms of like nervous wreck, he does just seem like that because he's not making substitutions and stuff like that. So it's very kind of easy to say that. Like, Josh Hayes, he's a big fraud, lads. He's a big fucking fraud. And I second the motion.
How many accounts did you make for this?
This is amazing. See, lads, I put it out at the perfect time. Everyone was emotional, and I fucking love it. So, lads, actually, what I am doing as well is, see the way I'm going through all these comments, I'm going to put a new section. Obviously, we used to have the Premier League review. Obviously, we don't have that anymore. So I am going to put up, I haven't come up with a name or a jingle for it yet, but it's going to be epic. And I'm thinking more like the public perspective. How would you like that one?
Shut up.
How would you like that one, lads?
Shut up.
The public perspective. And we're going to have a little voiceover going.
You might as well just call it Gone Fishing.
Yeah. Right, lads, a couple of comments in there again from John. He has to start his best squad. Can't leave top player on the bench. Rashford and Bruno had a stinker. No plan A. Plan A and no other plan. That is the problem. I also think they need to get over this whole looking back and keep mentioning Fergie as a legend, but need to move on from it. He's a nervous wreck because his boss is staring at him from the stands. That is right. That is a fucking great shout. Like, and then we have that's an incorrect spelling there. It's J Ash 23. As a Liverpool fan, I hope he gets a contract for life.
Do you watch?
I'm gonna have to the disrespect I've just shown there. I'm gonna have to just change that because I know Jay.
He's also you.
He's one of my alter egos.
So I'll just edit that bit out. So Jay Ash just come in, lads. As a Liverpool fan, I hope he gets a contract for life.
Boy, so we can finish movies every season.
Yeah.
Last game of the season, we let just kind of come back into it, whatever. Lads, that's pretty much all the comments that we've got in from that.
It was. I'm
sure you're happy
having the same comment and reworded in 17 different ways.
I'm sure you are fucking happy to move off that, lads. So, lads, the next thing I want to talk about is the Champions League final. Which is obviously going to be a massive game for me, being a Chelsea fan.
Nobody else cares about it because there's no City supporters.
The Champion League final.
Except Paddy.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I just typed that. Jesus Christ. Lads, how do we see the Champions League final going? I'm going to go through one by one, just see what you think. Paddy, I'll come to you first. What way do you see the Champions League final going? Again, I said it a couple of weeks ago where I was like, Chelsea might beat them, and a false sense of security, blah, 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 and seemed to happen. So how do you see the final going?
I think Chelsea were looking tired the last couple of games of the season. I think Mason Mount especially, I think his legs have gone.
Don't know about that.
And City have just been so strong the last few games. And this isn't me trying to wind you up or anything like that. This is just looking at football the last couple of weeks. I can't see any other winner except Chelsea 3-4 weeks ago. If you had asked me, I would have said they had a great chance, but I just think City are just too strong. I think
score prediction on that. Actually, we'll get some score predictions, lads.
I'm going to go 3-1 City.
Okay, Chris.
Yeah, I agree. I think that just like I do actually like Chelsea. I don't
Thanks.
dislike them in any way. Apart
Thank
from
you.
you're the only part of Chelsea that I don't like, and John Terry. But I just think that man for man across the pitch, City are better. I think that in big games like that, they perform as well. They're not a team that kind of shy away. They like those big occasions. So I can't see anything other than City dominating the game, to be honest. I think it'll be a good game, but I just fancy City. Like Chelsea are, it's not going to be like that shite we watched last night where like one team sits off and tries to defend and another team fucking just tries to press and press and press. I think that both of them will come out and try and attack and try and get an early goal. So I just think that City will probably do that sooner and it'll force Chelsea out and City will dominate it then and get a couple of goals. So
Chelsea would definitely prefer the earlier goal because they know they're solid defensively. So if they can get that early goal, they might just sit on their fucking hands. Like, so it could be an interesting one at the start where you might get both teams really going for it for the first fucking 5-10
that's what I mean.
minutes.
I think they will. I think they'll both go at it for the start, and I can see City's getting a goal, which I mean Chelsea will have to keep coming at them, and I just see City getting 2 or 3 more then. So I'll say 3-0 City.
Jesus, Connor.
I'm the opposite of the lads. I'm seeing.
I'm loving your work.
Not complete opposite. I just mean I don't think it's going to be like a complete domination. Sorry, Cully, to wind you up. But the way City played.
Why do you build me up like that and then just fucking break me down?
The way City played away from home in Champions League so far hasn't exactly been convincing. I know it's not like an away game, but without supporters and stuff, it kind of probably is away.
I'm out.
Exactly. And again with the final and stuff causing a little bit of nerves, I can actually see it being fairly not boring, but I can see it being a little bit more standoffish than you would have got from the 2 teams in the league. I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw after 90 minutes, and I'm gonna say City to win in extra time.
Interesting. Lawler, what do you think?
Even as a United fan, I'd actually know of nothing better than Chelsea to lose. Because I don't know.
I fucking hate you, Cully.
I don't know any City fans. I cannot stand listening to your smug fucking ass. But I actually have a weird, sneaky suspicion that Chelsea are going to nick it.
Ooh, tell me more.
No, I just think like the Champions League has been hanging over City's head for years now. That's the one thing that's eluded them all this time. The pressure's on them. No one expects Chelsea to win. Everyone expects City to win. The pressure's all on them, and I think Chelsea will nick it. I think they might get.
Are City going to play too emotionally? Like, are they going to get too emotionally involved in this, and maybe kind of a couple of rash tackles, maybe a couple of early bookings, potentially go down to 10 men? See that happening?
I don't know. I didn't think of it like that. No, not at all.
Let's get the crystal ball out there, Lala.
Quite elaborate. I tried to just.
He only asked you that because you said Chelsea are going to win.
Yeah, no. We're sticking with Lawler, lads. I might as well remove you from it. Like you're saying, Lawler having a chat here.
I just think all the pressure's on City. It's the one thing that's eluded them. Will that just succumb to? Will succumb to the pressure, like, and Chelsea nick the win? I really like Tuchel. I hate you.
Yeah.
But I really like Tuchel.
So you'd rather Chelsea lose, so you don't have to listen to me rather than anything else.
Oh, that's literally all. Literally.
You're living rent free in his head. You're living rent free in his head.
Is that like a consensus between everybody there? Are we all on the same page there? Is it just because I'm here and you don't want to listen to me, or is like hatred for Chelsea?
If I want them to lose more because of you, then Chelsea, yeah.
Fucking I'm offended. Like, I'm absolutely offended. Lads, it's going to be an interesting one to see now because Mendy has had a rib injury and Kante came off 2 weeks ago with a muscle injury. Mount obviously had a little knock as well, so hopefully he doesn't feel too much from that. So Chelsea could be.
If only we had water on, he'd tell us how long they were injured for.
I have a sneaky suspicion as well. Kovacic is back now. He made a mistake in the last game he played, but he wasn't really planned on being used for that long. He kind of came on in the 20th or 30th minute because Kante obviously went off, and he gave away a goal. So I would actually rather see Kovacic and Kante play there. Jorginho, for me, very liable to give the ball away in a little 5-yard pass. And if you do that against City, they're going to completely fucking punish you. So I would love to see Kovacic and Kante play there. Kovacic, I think, doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's fucking brilliant. The way he beats players and stuff like that, he's class. Like, it's going to be a tight one. Lawler, did you give us a score prediction, actually?
Yeah, I said 1-0 Chelsea.
Oh, nice. Love that.
So you don't see you're going to score? Ooh.
Chelsea are solid, like, you know, they really are solid at the back. Like, I know.
They're real solid against Villa, weren't they?
Fuck off.
Apart from all the goals.
Well,
He's gone.
Can I just say that Kepa was in goal? Every time Kepa gets in goal, we can see it.
Got a big one. He's gone, man.
Mendy still got a sore rib?
Get the net.
Say that again, Lawler.
What if Mendy still got a sore rib? That was serious biting, man. That was so quick. Like,
No, I don't. I don't think it was that too serious. But he didn't even look like he hit the fucking
like the rib. Serious.
He's cracked the rib, like you can play with a cracked rib, like, you know. No,
You can't. Ribs are
Casual crap ribs, yeah.
Imagine Chelsea win. How would anyone listen to Collie again? 3-1 City. Fucking hell, lads! I'm not feeling the fucking love on this podcast. And we just fucking call it a day here.
You asked for it, though. In fairness,
this could be potentially the last episode of this podcast ever, because if Chelsea don't win, the Footballbets4u page is gone off Instagram. And my personal
if Chelsea win,
gone.
I'm moving to the podcast.
Lads, so obviously Chelsea and City on Saturday. Hashtag Galileo. Fuck's sake. So the only two City fans I know is me dad and me brother. So it's going to be mad. Obviously, my dad is in hospital watching us at the moment after a serious surgery. So big shout out to me dad. He's on the mend there, so he'll be able to. He's
not after watching this. He's not
just in time to watch Chelsea lift the trophy. So happy about that. And then my brother is going to get absolute fucking dog's abuse if we win. If City win, I probably might turn out my phone for a while. So don't worry if you can't get me.
You better, because I swear to God, I'm going to.
No, do you know what? No, do you know what, lads? If Chelsea don't win, I'm going to take it like a man. I'm going to fucking answer every phone call I receive.
No, you won't. Every time I show you the video of John Terry slipping in the fucking Champions League,
I don't like that, right? I don't like that one.
Oh, we know what the intro is for next week.
Chris put his address up on the Instagram or something, so everyone can go and knock on his door.
It's disgusting, like. But no, I don't like the John Terry video. But I will, lads. If anybody rings me, I 100% promise I will answer the phone. I will respond to every single text message. So. I'm not a United fan, I'm not a Liverpool fan. I don't hide in the bushes until
I said the same thing to you, missus, last night when I was crying into our lap. I said, no, you have to take it like a man. Yeah,
I don't recall.
That was before the match, was it?
Laddie, it was to me last night. I don't recall it. Lads, look, we're gonna move off Champions League final. We're gonna hopefully be coming back next week, and I'm gonna be wearing the fucking Chelsea thing. I'm gonna have a fake fucking trophy and all. So we'll see.
That's all they'll have as well as a fake one.
Connor, I didn't really tell you, but can I go to?
Ethereum was red there. That's good. I'm glad Ethereum was red.
I don't know if you want to talk about this, Connor, but tell me.
Yeah, it's not been a good 7 days, really. Let's be honest. El China ruined everything. Fucking China,
like usual, fucking everything.
Slapping bans on crypto, which
slapping the base
made things plummet a little bit. Bitcoin and Ripple survived for the most part, but as Graham said, Ethereum took a major hit off of it because of China and because of environmental reasons, which is a little bollocks because of how much energy it costs to mine it. Fuck off. So the other ones are on a bounce back, so they had dipped down to like 40% low, but they're working their way back up now to only around 17% over the last week. So they're still climbing back up. Ethereum looks like it's probably going to be gone for another couple of months, so maybe buy now and then eventually it'll boost back again. Some good news today around PayPal. So PayPal are starting their work to accept Bitcoin as a payment.
Oh yeah,
that was announced this afternoon. So once they finalize that in a couple of weeks, that should shoot back up, and it'll keep going.
Nice one.
I haven't moved. I'm still sticking on it. I haven't jumped ship.
Buy the dip. Buy the dip.
Buying the dip. Exactly. Buying the low.
Cardano seems to be making a recovery. That is one I'm on. Am I saying that right? Cardano.
Yeah, the two that had big news this week in regards to being purchased by banks in America are Litecoin and where's the other one that I have saved? Give me 1 second. Yeah, Cardano is the other one actually. Cardano and Litecoin.
You're welcome.
The last week have been picked up by BNY Mellon and Bank of America as potentials for actual currency going forward. So if they keep their dip, they're worth buying. But if they just jump back up, which it looks like they are doing, maybe not worth it.
Okay, right. That was a good one. Nice one for the update on that. Lads, we're going to just have a quick chat about the Ultimate Squad. So relaxing. Relaxing, isn't it? I gotta share my screen here, lads. I don't know what way this is gonna work, but sure, look. I'm just gonna start randomly sharing screen, so apologies for that might pop up. First one we have here, lads. So the first result of last week. So this is the second last week. So we have one more week of this. Can we see that? Are we all right with that? Do you want me to zoom in a little bit more? Oh God!
We know what's who's on the teams anyway.
Right, yeah, we don't need to talk too much. We're just trying to give results.
So he gets beaten.
I don't know why I can't. Oh, there we go. So we had Melon against Chris, and Chris has won by 7%. So unlucky Melon. I'm gonna have to stop sharing that because for some reason it doesn't allow me to scroll across, which is very unusual. So the next game was the next one that I'm about to pull up, which is the next one.
The anticipation is killing me, Collie.
That is not showing
up. Said under an hour, Collie. Said under an hour. Come on.
All right, hold on. You have a fucking pressure on me here now, lads. And the next one was
Dan.
The same one. Oh, no, it's not. I thought it was that they're bringing up the same one. Team Lawler versus Connor. Oh, the lads are battling it out, and the winner was Team Lawler by 3%. So Lawler took the victory on that one. And lads, the last game was here we go again. Was the other one that I'm about to share right now, which was Team Paddy and Team Water. Team Paddy absolutely spanked Team Water.
Jesus.
By now, Paddy again. I'm not calling you out, but I'm calling you out because there's a lot of votes that are coming out, and I see, personal votes coming through.
Russian.
Probably not a personal. It could be a Sheridan from a different family.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Paddy has a group text. I presume that whenever there's a thing, he just puts up a fucking group text to everybody and says, "Here, look, send you a fiver."
Do not know what you're talking about. No.
So, lads, that is the results for this week. And what I'll do real quick is I'm able to bring up the league table so we can see how it stands. So this is the current standings. Look at them points for Chris. Very round.
Yeah.
Chris is sitting at the top of the leaderboard with 12 points, so he's 1-4.
All right, Connor.
Awesome. He's 300 for 200 against a plus 100 goal difference, percentage difference. Mellon's sitting in second, Paddy's in third, Lawler's in fourth, respectively. Lawler, you're the only one that has played all your games, so you finished with 9 points. Team Collie, who in my opinion is the best team in the league, is sitting in fifth position. Connor and Warren. Yeah, whatever. So, lads, the only people that can finish bottom is Connor, Water, and myself. So let's hope that it's not me. I have the best goal difference, so a draw will get me over the line. So I'm gonna look for a draw.
That's so common.
I'm not really sure who I've got left to play against. I can't really remember. So, Paddy, maybe we'll do the Instagram live or something during the week and finish off the final fixtures.
Everyone praying to get water.
If Chelsea win, maybe we could, or City win, we could do the Instagram live on Saturday night.
You're saying that Paddy Chelsea will win now, and he'd be like, "Are you doing it? Are you doing it?"
Let's go. I commit to it. I'll commit to an Instagram live with anybody that wants to do it. On
no.
Saturday
That's a nice shirt on there, Collie. It's a nice t-shirt.
Oh, do you like this shirt? This is the Football Bets for You podcast shirt, which was sent across by MCC Customs. Paddy, Paddy and the lads are still waiting for theirs.
I got mine done.
I think with Brexit and stuff, it slows up the post. So I think it's about 4 months now since we've seen my
lads, if you want them, get onto them.
Stop advertising them if they're not sending them.
Yeah,
I'm just letting their customer base know it takes about 6 months for you to get your product. If you went
so he's done the opposite there. Right, lads, we are gonna go on to a quick little look at the Premier League roundup. So, lads, we're just gonna talk a little bit about the final league standings and just anybody that we thought, highlights of the season and stuff like that. So. We look through the league table. Obviously, we have City finishing first, United, Liverpool, Chelsea, top 4. Leicester, obviously, a massive disappointment over the last couple of games, dropping into 5th position. Then, obviously, West Ham again, finishing off strong with a couple of wins. Spurs then 7th position, 8th for Arsenal, 9th for Leeds. What a performance with Leeds, 4 wins in the last 4 games. Everton dropping down to 10th, which is slightly disappointing. Villa, Newcastle, Wolves, Palace, Southampton, Brighton and Burnley just escaping relegation. Well, in terms of the last kind of couple of weeks, they really weren't even under any pressure. Fulham, West Brom and Sheffield United obviously going down. Paddy, who is your shock of the season, whether it be overperforming, underperforming?
Well, I have to say, poor old Leicester City. Over the last 2 seasons, they've been in the top 4, I think 90% of the time, more than any other team, or other than the champions, and they have not made it both seasons. It's shocking. I actually think they're the team this season that's been in the top 4 the longest, because even City were out of the top 4 at the start of the season. So, poor forward. But talk about Brendan Bottler. He done it at Liverpool, bottled the season, and now he's doing it with Leicester.
Ooh, interesting. Chris, what about for you? Who do you think is kind of your big shock of the season? Like, it could be anybody, like any underperformers or overperformers.
I think West Ham are going to be my shout. Yeah, I think because with Leicester, you kind of expect it of them now in ways because they've been so consistent for the last 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah, but with West Ham, to me, they came out of nowhere. Like I would always associate them with kind of like mid-table to almost not bottom of the table, but like 13th position ish. Yeah. But I think when Lingard went over, it seems like you get them a bit of an injection of pace and goals and whatever. I don't know. Just seemed to kick them on into another gear and a bit of confidence or something when the goals started coming in. And David Moyes has obviously used his experience to get the most out of the squad and out of the tough games. So
and with Lingard as well, kind of bringing him across and really working wonders with him.
Yeah. I mean, and look at now Lingard's in the England squad. There's talk of United not wanting to let him go at all and keep him back into the team. It's
Bambi on the bench, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but
I just wanted, lads. Sorry, just a quick one. I don't know. You might be able to answer this. I'm not actually sure. Did Moyes had Lingard at or when he was at United? Did he?
Yeah.
And did he play him much?
I think he got the same as Lingard has always been at United.
In and out, kind of.
Yeah. Shake it all about. Shock the season, Liverpool, because they're shit.
Connor, who's yours?
The one kind of that went on during the season and where they finished up was, first of all, was Everton. They sat second in the league for so long. They were top of the league as well, and they've just fallen off a cliff since Christmas. Yeah. And I couldn't believe. We always said that Everton, they might drop outside the top 4. They would struggle, but we talked about Carlo Ancelotti, James Rodriguez, Dominic Calvert-Lewin in such good form at the start of the season. To finish 10th is an absolute
shambles.
Is a shock to me from early on. But the main one for me would have been Leeds. Probably one of the most exciting teams, whether that be good, bad, or indifferent, to watch all season. To get a top 10 finish, to finish with 4 games allowance is great for them. It's great for football in general. Bielsa signing a new contract for another year is obviously good for the Premiership as well, to keep him there. So Leeds were great to watch this season. I'm delighted that they're still there for next year.
Not good for Bielsa's knees there, but Lawler, what do you reckon? Who was your shock of the season or biggest letdown?
I was delighted to see club of West Ham finally to actually get a bit of success and be in with a shout of getting those European positions for so long. Like, they were quality. And yeah, I would say Villa did so well as well at the start of the season. Grealish carried them for ages, and then they obviously fell by the wayside. They had a very, very good season, I thought, as well. So those two.
Lads, what about Newcastle finishing in 12th position? I'm just going to throw it out. There was a stage where we were saying Newcastle are putting themselves into this really dangerous position where they were fighting for relegation, fighting for survival. Like, 12th position is a fucking great outcome for that, isn't it? Steve Head's there.
Yeah. When you look at all the teams below them, Khalid, like the results that they got, it was literally the last 2-3 games that saved them and got them up there. Like everybody, bar Sheffield United, everybody underneath Newcastle lost the last game of the season, and even the second last game of the season. Yeah.
Brighton maybe got a little win there.
This year.
Yeah, very, very unusual. But Southampton are very like that, aren't they? Like they can have an awful season, then all of a sudden they have this they just have these 2 or 3 great players that come out of nowhere and they're brilliant again, and then they obviously sell them players off.
We talked about Newcastle halfway. Sorry, Colin, I was just going to say we talked about Newcastle halfway through the season when they were struggling, and we said, well, keep them up will be keeping St. Maximin fit when he went out injured for that 4 or 5 weeks, and getting Callum Wilson back before the end of the season. The 2 lads back in the team has obviously turned their fortune around over the last 10 games, 8 to 10 games. And it's really dig them out. Like, they're not that far off the bottom 4, the bottom 3, but the last, whatever, they picked up 5 wins, I think, in the last 8 or 9. It just pulled them out of it. So fair play to Steve Heads. Hope he keeps the job.
Yeah, Steve Heads, great manager. Lads, look, I'm kind of like you've all touched on the teams that I've talked about, or that I was thinking about myself. Leeds, obviously, quality to see them in 9th position. Hopefully, they don't do a Sheffield United and absolutely fucking blow up and implode and sack your manager. I don't think they're gonna do that. But be interesting to see how they invest during the summer, who they're going to bring in. Leeds for me definitely up there with one of the kind of the overperformers and just the breath of fresh air, I think, for the league definitely this season. Everton massive underachievers in terms of second half of the season. Again, Villa similar enough. They were flying high with Grealish there, gets injured, and they all of a sudden just kind of fall to the wayside. Spurs again, just classic Spurs, bottling everything. Not really showing any grit, any fucking balls. There is talk about Pochettino coming back for next season. That's about the best thing that could happen to that Spurs team. I think they're going to lose Harry Kane, so I don't see a bright future for them. But I still don't think Pochettino even coming in will be able to save Kane from leaving.
Do you think Chelsea, on the Premier League alone, have had a successful season? Would you be happy as a fan?
Yeah, I would, because
I would forward.
Yeah, I would, because of how it started off and where we were for so long.
We just finished last season.
Under Frank, you mean? Like,
yeah, that is what I mean. That is what I mean. Chris, thanks for that.
All right.
We finished, I think, 3rd last season.
So you're happy then you finished lower?
Yeah. Well, we had a young team. Actually, no, sorry, we finished 4th as well last season, and we just about scraped it. So we finished in the same place.
No progress as a club, and you're slagging Manchester United.
Oh, we're in Champions League final. That's progress to me.
Yeah, there's 1-0, yeah.
Yeah, still Champions League final.
Nothing, yeah.
So I'm definitely happy. I think Lampard set up a great foundation for Tuchel there to come in and do what he's done with the team. Tuchel obviously tactically more experienced than Lampard. So yeah, I'm happy with the progress that I'm seeing with Chelsea in terms of Havertz finding his feet, Werner finding his feet, Pulisic, a lot of good players there, lads.
I think Ole would be a better manager than Lampard.
Sorry?
I think Ole is even a better manager than Lampard. Lampard was
wrong.
Really as a manager.
I think you're wrong there. I'm not pointing on that one. So, lads, it's been a fucking great season. Well, it hasn't really. It's been one of the worst seasons I think ever. With no fans in the stadium. In terms of the pod, it's been a great season. I think it's probably been one of our most successful years. Like I said, it's not we're not breaking or anything like that, but it has been a good year for us. In terms of what we're going to be doing kind of from here on in, lads, it's going to be, although there's no predictions and stuff like that, we're still going to try to get our pod out every week, and we're going to keep the consistency going right through. We do have next week planned. We're going to talk about the Euros, and we're going to solely concentrate on the Euros, and that's why we haven't really. I would have liked to touch on it today, but there's not much point because I think we can dedicate a whole episode to it next week. So that one's going to be interesting. There's nothing I'm forgetting, lads, is there?
Just we'll be talking about transfers as well every episode, don't we?
Yeah, transfers as well. Obviously, there's going to be transfers here and there, speculation. So we will try to cover all we can. Anything that happens, I'll try to get up on the Instagram page and stuff like that. Connor, sorry, did you say there was something you might have forgot there?
Yeah, you're over an hour.
Yeah. Over an hour, lads.
Yeah.
I'm not even like it. I'm not. Yeah, I know that was going to happen. Like, we're getting close to finishing here, so not too bad.
That's what she said.
Yeah, lads. So look, it's just going to be us trying to be as consistent as possible. Still kind of. Oh yeah, another thing that I want to do is try get a couple of people on the podcast. Lawler, we might have someone lined up who wants to talk about a book that they've wrote. Possibly we can get them on in the next couple of weeks. Might have a couple of stories about Roy Keane.
Any book.
Just a book. I think it's Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
I love your intro, Collie. I love it. Your research.
I don't know the name of the book, so I can't even give him a shout out to promote the book. So I'll let him do it himself. Lawler, do you want to tell us about maybe who it is, or I don't know if you have any information on it?
You're looking after it, Lawler, aren't you?
Yeah.
Apparently, so there was a little bit of a mix-up in communication here. If he is listening,
Not for me.
I thought Collie was going to contact him. Larry Manny, he's been a coach with the FAI for 25 years, and he's did his coaching with Roy Keane. So there's a couple of Roy Keane stories he wanted to talk about, because a really interesting book all about coaching that he'd like to talk about as well. So, but a fellow with massive experience in the FAI. Be interesting to get some of his stories, see if he has any insight into what's been going on the golden era of the last 25 years.
I heard he was in the Ritz Carlton with John Delaney 10 years ago. So.
I'd love a John Delaney story if he has any.
Yeah. Oh, look, we'll get him on. He wants to promote the pod, or he wants to promote the book. We will be asking questions for the pod as well. It's not like we will have a good conversation with him.
It's not actually him. It's going to be Lawler in a mask.
Lads, go on.
I just think it might be interesting to get some decent conversation on football knowledge. You know, rather than you.
It's not like we've had any for the last fucking year. The best thing that's happened was a fucking prank on you. Right, lads, I think we're going to call it a day there. We've kept it around an hour. So yeah, it's been a pleasure. Again, like I said, a Euro episode next week. Lads, if anyone is watching on YouTube or Facebook, anything like that, you see the thing on my little graphic there, subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel and stuff like that, because it helps us kind of grow. So, lads, it's been a pleasure. Paddy, thanks for coming on.
Cheers, man. See you.
Chris.
All the best, lads.
Lawler, for some reason, smiling like a pervert.
It's like you're trying to get a word count in. And just, thanks very much. And, I'm near the word count now. I'll stop now.
You're not going to pass me fucking word count. And Connor, nice one.
Yeah, cheers, lads.
Right, lads, we'll be back next week at the same time. So we'll see everybody then. Cheers.